Welcome back to Season 3 of the Animal Highlight that's focused on animals and biosecurity and was extracted from the Animal Turn podcast focused on the same theme. This season has been sponsored by Animals in Philosophy, Politics, Law and Ethics, A.P.P.L.E, as well as the Biosecurities and Urban Governance Research Collective. I'm joined by co-host Amanda Bunten-Walberg, who, at the time of recording, was a PhD candidate at Queen's University School of Environmental Studies. Her research explored more than human ethics in contagious contexts through the case study of bats and COVID-19. Nandi is particularly interested in how more than human ethics, critical race theory, queer theory, and biopolitical theory might guide humans towards developing more ethical relationships with animals, particularly those who are understood as diseased. In this episode, we focus on two individual animals who are kind of caught up in a biosecurity drama with regards to whether or not you can live or die or be rescued or not. And that's Lily and Lizzie. It's fascinating, and I hope you enjoy listening. Hey, Mandy. Welcome back to the Animal Highlight.
Hi, Claudia.
So I'm looking forward to who we're going to be speaking about this week. It's something a little bit different this week, I believe.
Yeah, today I'm excited to highlight two specific pigs who are named Lily and Lizzie. So yeah, something that's slightly different from what we've done in the past few weeks. And I guess to offer a bit of context, I want to highlight them because they're really at the center of the legal case that you discussed with Camille Labchuk this week. Just as a bit of a recap, in this case, two animal activists were put on trial and ultimately acquitted for rescuing two sick piglets from Smithfield Foods in Utah. And these piglets were named Lily and Lizzie by the rescuers. In your discussion, I think that Camille really brilliantly highlighted the ways in which biosecurity rhetoric is often employed to justify ag-gag laws. And it's really used to mark animal agriculture and those who profit from it as deserving of protection, while animal activists are painted as these biosecurity threats. And then meanwhile, farmed animals are understood to be these commodities undeserving of the most basic protections. And it's in this context that animal activists offer really crucial challenges to this misuse of biosecurity that ultimately devalues animals' lives and maintains systems that exploit them. And also, animal activists frequently shed light on how animal agriculture itself is a biosecurity threat. It inflicts harm on workers and animals, and it generates the spread of infectious diseases. Now, in practice, challenging biosecurity rhetoric that ultimately upholds animal agriculture isn't always a straightforward process or without complexity. For example, in this particular trial, the attorneys defending the animal activists actually employed biosecurity rhetoric in arguing that the piglets were ill and risked infecting a whole host of other pigs, thus making them a liability to Smithfield Foods. So the Smithfield trial has really significant implications for farmed animals and more broadly for biosecurity, but in thinking about the bigger picture, it can be easy to lose sight of Lily and Lizzie, who are at the center of all of this. So I want to focus on them for what remains of this highlight. When animal activists entered the Smithfield Foods facility in Utah in 2017, they found adult female pigs who were confined to metal gestation and farrowing crates where they didn't even have room to turn around. And they also found piglets who were covered in feces and piglets who lay dead and rotting. And amidst these really horrific conditions, they came across an extremely sick and skinny Lily. An activist described how, quote, she was curled up against her mom and kind of teetering, while the other piglets were trampling her and knocking her around, and she didn't have the energy or strength to move. Lily was also dealing with a painfully bloody and swollen foot, making her unable to walk. And another piglet, Lizzie, was also very unwell. She was about half the size of all of the other piglets, and her face was smeared in blood from her mother's shredded nipple. Both piglets had diarrhea from a contagious infection, which is unsurprising since these kinds of diseases thrive in crowded and unsanitary conditions. And these deplorable conditions are so contrary to what kinds of environments fulfill pigs' dynamic needs. The ethologist Lyle Watson says that if he had to use just one word to sum up pigs, it would be gregarious. They're profoundly social creatures who live in these really close-knit matriarchal groups that are marked by a level of social complexity similar to that of primates or dolphins. And they thrive on touch and communication. They experience a wide range of emotions similar to what you or I would experience. For example, pigs are empathetic. They're able to take the perspective of another pig so they can put themselves in another pig's shoes or hooves. And they're also able to experience emotional contagion, which essentially means that they feel the same emotional state as another pig who's in their presence. And given this, pigs are profoundly distressed in these factory farm environments where not only are they abused and neglected, but they're denied loving touch and community. They're denied the guidance of their matriarchs who are trapped in these crates, and they're forced to witness other pigs suffer. In addition to being highly social and highly emotional, they also possess cognitive capabilities similar to that of dogs or young human children. So Lori Marino and Christina Colvin, offer a really rigorous review of scientific literature on pigs that show pigs to possess self-awareness. They have a sense of time. They have these excellent spatial memories. They form likes and dislikes, and they enjoy creative play. And in addition to these complex cognitive capacities, pigs have really acute sensory abilities. So famously, pigs have these snouts with incredible olfactory powers, and their snouts are filled with so many nerve endings and muscles that can really move their snouts around. And foraging is a crucial aspect of pigs' lives. They spend much of their time putting their keen senses and curiosity and intellect to use as they root with their snouts in the dirt to explore a wide selection of foods and just to explore their environments more broadly. Unfortunately, barren factory farm environments are totally devoid of opportunities for pigs to indulge in any kind of sensory pleasure, to experience variety, to stimulate their minds, to engage their curiosity. These cramped and confined conditions offer no room to move about freely or explore. There's no soil to root in. There's no nesting material to arrange. Now, back to Lizzie and Lily. When they were removed from the really traumatic conditions of the farm where they'd been held captive, they weren't expected to survive, but miraculously they did. And they were brought to Love and Arms Animal Sanctuary in Colorado. And here they have space to live free from exploitation. But not only are they free from harm and exploitation, they also get to enjoy incredibly rich lives. They get to root and play in these expansive pastures. They get to roll in mud baths and bask in these cool tubs of water on hot days. And they're fed a variety of tasty meals, all while participating in a really meaningful multi-species community. And in this environment where their unique piggy needs are met, Lily and Lizzie's different personalities have been able to shine. So Lily is a little bit shy, though she loves getting belly rubs from volunteers. And Lizzie, on the other hand, is much more outgoing and rambunctious, and she loves to play and roll around in the mud. And despite their different personalities, the two share a very strong bond with each other and are totally inseparable. They love to spend the day together in the pasture, and then at night make their beds and have a nap. They also share really meaningful relationships with other animals at the sanctuary. So, for example, Felix, who is another pig at the sanctuary, he developed a really special bond with Lizzie after she offered him companionship and care following the death of his best friend. And then later, when Lily and Lizzie had to undergo skin cancer treatment, Felix made sure to greet them when they returned from the hospital and to always make sure that they were okay. And there's a really tender photo of Felix and Lizzie just gently touching snouts after one of her hospital visits. And it's just so moving, this photo, and the love and care between them is so palpable. So Lily and Lizzie are still at Love and Arms Sanctuary to this day. Sadly, the Utah facility that they were rescued from slaughters, I believe, more than 1 million pigs per year. And all of these pigs endure tremendous suffering, like the suffering I've already described. And they're also all individuals who matter and who, just like Lily and Lizzie, are capable of living dazzling lives if only they could live in circumstances that fostered their dignity.
No, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And a word that really resonated with me, I think, throughout that was the idea of emotional contagion. Because, throughout the season, we focused on the idea of biosecurity and how contagions, I guess, move. But the idea that, experiencing disease it's a material thing, it's a corporal thing, it's a bodily thing, certainly, but it's also an emotional thing to feel sick, to be sick. And yeah, I know you were using it there in the context of pigs being able to share smiles and joy, but also grief with one another. But I think bringing that emotional component into thinking about disease is really important. So thank you for raising that. And yeah, like you said, the kind of excessively difficult situations in which many piglets find themselves and pigs find themselves is certainly very different to what people and pigs feel on sanctuaries such as that and the kind of experiences they have. And really just fascinating details about pigs and the kinds of things they can do. I think, wasn't it last year where pigs were playing video games? Like pigs do unbelievably.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait, just now I'm lying to you, but I don't think I'm lying. I always doubt myself. The second I give like an interesting fact, I immediately am like, is that true? But no, I'm pretty certain. Go Google that. Anyway, thank you so much. That was really it was nice to kind of learn a little bit about specific individuals. It's easy to lose sight of them when we're speaking about these mass numbers of animals who get hurt and killed.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for listening, and yeah, thanks for your kind of thoughtful responses and feedback.
Thank you to Animals in Philosophy, Politics, Law and Ethics, A.P.P.L.E, as well as the Biosecurities and Urban Governance Research Collective for sponsoring Season 5 of the Animal Turn podcast, where this content was extracted from. Thank you also goes to Amanda Bunten-Walberg for being an incredible co-host, and to Rebecca Shen for doing and designing the episode and podcast artwork. This episode was edited by Christiaan Mentz and produced by myself. Just a reminder to please rate and review this podcast wherever you listen. This is The Animal Highlight with me, Claudia Hirtenfelder.